super interesting. You obviously know what Donald Trump said about fire and fury, about North Korea. So Governor Terry McAuliffe, who is the governor of Virginia, Democratic governor from Virginia, was out at an event near the Pentagon today. Colin, our photog out there, shot this just
Spectacular photog out there.
The fantastic photog. Colin shot this just a couple of hours ago, and McAuliffe at first is kind of measured and then rails on Donald Trump.
Listen, the good news I see today is that we have a lot of the world community, the vote we just had in the UN, everybody's coming together. But we've got to do this smartly and diplomatically, and the president has got to tone down this rhetoric. I mean, fire and fury like the world has never seen. You know, that's not a comforting message. That's not a diplomatic message. We have seen, I was too young, but I have seen the images of what happened to Hiroshima and Nagasaki. You know, that was fire and fury. And he's now saying it'll be worse than that. Knock it off. You're the President of the United States of America. Start acting like one. All right, thank you so much.
Well, he talks about Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which happened right about this time in 1945. It happened in early August. So it turns out that the president then, President Truman, Harry Truman, said almost the identical thing. First, we want to play what Trump said just to refresh your memory, and then we're going to tell you about what Truman said, and you got to hear the parallel. Here's Trump.
North Korea best not make any more threats to the United States. They will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen.
Now, on the day that we dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima, August 6, 1945, this is what President Harry Truman said in a national address.
Let there be no mistake. We shall completely destroy Japan's power to make war. If they do not now accept our terms, they may expect a rain of ruin from the air, the like of which has never been seen on this earth.
It's roughly the same. It's certainly the same sentiment.
Right.
And it's interesting that presidents have talked about this before. And, you know, and look, during the Cuban Missile Crisis, Kennedy didn't say that, but that was the upshot of what Kennedy did during the Cuban Missile Crisis.
But Harvey, the Truman quote took place on the heels of a determined enemy at the end of the war in 1945. There had already been a huge loss of American life. This is brinksmanship. This is before there's any hostility.
I understand that, but hold on, Derek. Here is the problem. Herein lies the problem. That what Trump is faced with, what we are faced with, is a foreign power that has developed nuclear capability, that is testing warheads underground, that is shooting ICBMs into space and down, that can now get to Chicago from here, now can strap a nuclear warhead on an ICBM. And the only two things that Kim Jong-un is lacking right now is re-entry, where the rocket doesn't burn up. That's one. And two is precision. And the military is now saying, contrary to what they believed, now they think that in a year that he can fill in those two gaps and attack us. And he certainly hasn't been acting like he's not going to. So in terms of imminent threat, Japan couldn't bomb us with a nuclear weapon. We were worried that Germany could. Here, there is a real worry that North Korea could.
I think what the governor was trying to say was that we haven't exhausted diplomatic measures yet.
But when do we, Van? I guess, and I'm not advocating what Trump said.
I know, but
when do we?
But even the clip that we pulled from Harry Truman, he said that, and then those things led to a nuclear war.
Well, the same day.
Right, exactly. So my point is that if you think that it's time that we send nuclear weapons to the Korean Peninsula, then you wouldn't have a problem with the president saying,
dude,
are you
scared?
No, not at all.
I am so scared.
I'm not like, I'm really not frightened in the least. It's not the type of thing that frightens me. It's the type of thing that we've seen saber rattling of this kind before.
So you think he's never going to do it?
I don't know whether or not he's going to do it.
Well, what's your gut?
I don't have a gut feeling. I'm not like...
I got a bad gut on this.
You have a bad gut that the North Koreans are determined to launch nuclear weapons.
If you were in Guam, you'd be pretty...
Yeah, well, not just... Hey, dude, not just Guam. Wait. Not just Guam, Derek, but they could literally use artillery to put a nuclear device in and kill millions of people in South Korea.
Listen, you guys, any nuclear power in the world that has had like shaky leadership in the past, we've had to worry about this. We worried about this for years with the Cold War. We're worrying about this.
But with who? Russia, yes.
With Russia,
and we almost went to nuclear war in 1961.
And the difference and the threat from Russia was actually a lot more severe because we had mutually assured destruction with
Nikita Khrushchev, who was the president of Russia at the time, Nikita Khrushchev was far more stable than Kim Jong-un. And that's the problem.
I'll say this. A lot of what you're seeing from North Korea, you're also seeing from the United States' aggression against countries that did not have nuclear weapons in the past. We went into Iraq, we destabilized other places like that. I don't think they want to end up like that. But I really don't think that they're going to commit national suicide by launching a nuclear attack against us.
Unless he's a martyr. And, you know, when you look at somebody who blows up an airplane, and they know they're going to die too, they do it for martyrdom. And there's not that much of a difference between somebody does it in an airplane and somebody does it with a nuclear bomb.
There's a difference between knowing that you're going to die and knowing that your entire civilization, family line, and everything that you have.
When you're saying you're 100% right. Years. I don't think he's sane.
I'm Steve Gross from Mesa, Arizona, and I agree that Donald Trump should have said something to North Korea and Kim Jong-il. But what he said I don't think, made him afraid at all. I think Kim Jong-un is probably more confident now that the American people are more concerned than he is.
Hey, Steve, 15 seconds. What should the United States do right now?
I think that the United States needs to stand strong and needs to communicate to Kim Jong-un that we're not going to accept any threats on any attack.
Meaning what? You're not going to accept, and do what if he does?
I think that you have to be prepared to respond, not go out aggressively and attack first. But if he were to, he was thinking about attacking Guam. If he attacks Guam, he's going to be wiped out. And North Korea is going to be no more.
So do you have to wait for a nuclear bomb? That's my question.
I hate to say yes, but maybe you could stop it along the way.
Are you advocating a preemptive nuclear strike?
I am asking the question. Now, we could try to bomb in their nuclear arsenal, and we've done that before.
Right.
But this is a tough one, man. It is a tough and scary one. Make sure to subscribe to TMZ Live to keep up to date on the latest entertainment news.
And if you want to keep watching, click on one of these videos right now.